Hey everybody, this is Francesca, Maxime. It's about 2 o'clock on Thursday, the 19th of October, and it is a beautiful fall day here in New York. And today I want to talk a little bit about resentment and forgiveness. So this is sort of the idea of anger, frustration, holding on to bad feelings about someone or something, and forgiveness, which is kind of about letting go and allowing and creating more space for there to be another possibility, for lack of a better word. I personally have been struggling a lot with this for a while, and it's resentment toward a few people for a few situations that manifest that I won't get into the specifics of, but they're people close to me, and they're people that I feel betrayed by, and really have this strong pull, this sort of grasping desire to want these people to understand, right? Really wanting these people to get it, to get my experience, and really wanting and needing to feel heard, really wanting and needing to feel understood, really wanting and needing to feel like there's a part of me that can release it through another person's remorse. Like if I were to have an ideal scenario, it would be that, the people that I'm having issues with would not only, sort of say they're sorry, but also be remorseful, which is a more overt way of expressing not only sorrow over an action that maligned another person, in this case me, but also a deep understanding of how it feels in a way to have been on the receiving end of that. So as I'm noticing what's going on in my body and noticing what it is that I'm feeling and noticing that I tighten up and I get kind of paranoid and panicky and sort of really contracted and clenched as I latch on mentally to these ideas of, in a way, self-righteousness, meaning I didn't mean any harm, or whatever it was that I did that offended you that then you retaliated against me about, hey, like, wait a minute, can't we talk about this like adults or whatever? And I really have been having a hard time with the idea that, probably we can't talk about it like adults because the other people have chosen to not really want to engage in a mature conversation. So what to do? Because it's been said many times that resentment is like swallowing the poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Obviously, I'm the one who gets sick, and I don't want to be this. A lot of people, they sort of find anger energizing and motivating, and I don't really anymore. Maybe I used to. I would rather just be rid of it, have it dissipate, and let go of resentment, let go of feelings as though I want to be understood and have other people come forward with their deep, loving embrace of complete forgiveness and kumbaya happiness. May never happen. May happen, may never happen. So what can one do? And there is a forgiveness practice that is recommended. I think meditation teacher Sharon Salzberg attributed it to Sayadaw U Ban, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. He's a Theravadan Burmese meditation master. But and the forgiveness practice goes something like this. First of all, may I be forgiven for any action that I did, knowingly or unknowingly, that harmed you. May I be forgiven. And may I forgive you for any action that you knowingly or unknowingly did that harmed me. So you're sort of setting the stage on all accounts and taking accountability, taking responsibility, and being accountable for the fact that you too, I too, in this case, had a role to play in whatever set off the chain of events that's now manifesting in my body somatically as sort of a certain degree of frustration or sadness even that's underneath some of this anger and resentment. And one of my teachers, Tara Brock, who's a meditation teacher and author, says, you don't always have to forgive. You certainly don't have to forgive and forget. Certainly not that. You don't always have to just forgive off the bat, but you can sort of set your compass in the direction of forgiveness. So you can create an intention of forgiveness. So today, as I wake up and I do my meditation practice, or as I appreciate the beauty that's out there, this gorgeous sunny day that we have, I can take in some of the good, and I can also say, I'm really still irked by this situation, and yet I set my compass in the direction of forgiveness. I set my intention toward forgiveness. I set my intention toward allowing and creating space for this not being the only thing that I'm latching onto today. This not being the only thing that I'm going to remember and have arise and keep digging me in my, side of my ribs about all day. That in fact, I'm going to just create a little space, step back, and go back to this. If anything I have done has been offensive or has hurt you, knowingly or unknowingly, I ask to be forgiven, and anything that you have done, knowingly or unknowingly, that I forgive you. That's sort of my grounding intention, my grounding compass setting. And it may happen in days, weeks, or months. It may happen in years. It may not have a clear manifestation. But to know that it's pointing in that direction, just like when we plant a seed in the ground, it's always going to want to go up toward the sun. Just watering it and weeding it and making sure that it's given some of the basic needs that it has, like a good night's sleep in my case, or proper nutrition, or enough space to be reflective and quiet as opposed to being busy all the time. Those are some of the things that for me personally enable me to not feel so overwhelmed, not feel so resentful, not take everything so seriously, not just fixate on this one thing that's still bothering me. So to just sort of take a moment, and I'm saying this as much for myself as I am for anyone who might be listening, that idea of relaxing a bit to say, knowingly or unknowingly, anything that I may have done that hurt you, may I be forgiven. And anything that you may have done, knowingly or unknowingly, that hurt me, may I also set my compass toward the intention of forgiving you. That's something that I can sort of cheer for, right? I can kind of get behind that. Because even if I can't just sit there and say, I'm ready to wipe the slate clean, I can kind of say, you know what? This is at the very least more productive than this contracted, clenched feeling that I have of what? Retribution, anger, despair, any of those other things that, while real, and I acknowledge that they're present in different doses at different times, I also would like to cultivate and water the seeds of something more nourishing and more wholesome and more supportive, which can be this allowing and this letting go. So I invite you to consider what it might be like for you to sort of look at any of the resentments or, places where you're a little more contracted and holding on to things, and see if you can't not only forgive yourself for anything that you may have done that may have offended someone knowingly or unknowingly, but also if you can't at least set the compass and the intention of where you feel as though you've been betrayed toward other people, if they've done anything knowingly or unknowingly that has hurt you, that you can at least set your compass toward the intention of forgiveness and allowing and creating a little bit more space. So that's it for now. I'm Francesca Maxime. This is Wise Girl, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.